Poor black girl finds abandoned car and breaks when she opens the trunk. Amina had not eaten since yesterday, but hunger was not new to her. Hunger was like an old friend that never left, sitting quietly beside her even when she tried to smile. It lived in her stomach, in her bones, in the way her body felt lighter each day, as if life was slowly peeling her away. The silence of the forest felt heavier today somehow. The trees stood tall, watching without speaking. Even the birds were quiet, as if the world itself was holding its breath. Her slippers were torn, the soles barely holding together. Her dress was dusty, stained from days of walking roads that never offered mercy. Her hair was tied back with a faded ribbon, and her face carried the kind of tiredness children were never supposed to know. Yet she walked like someone searching for something lost. People in the town called her unlucky, like trouble followed her shadow. Some said misfortune lived in her footsteps. Others whispered that poverty had marked her family, and nothing good could ever come from them. But she never stopped believing life could change. Amina was only 12, but life had made her older in ways no birthday ever could. That morning, she went deeper into the woods, looking for scrap metal to sell. The little money she earned was never enough, but it was all she had. She whispered sorry to her tired mother as she walked. Her mother had been sick for days. Fever burned through her fragile body, yet she still smiled weakly, saying, "We'll be fine, my daughter," while hiding the fear inside her eyes. Amina knew that smile was not comfort. It was sacrifice. Every step she took was not for herself, but for medicine, for food, for the woman who never let her sleep hungry even when her own stomach was empty. The forest path was rough, full of dry leaves and hidden stones. Her feet ached, but she kept going, because poor children learn early that stopping is a luxury. Then she saw it, an old car half swallowed by vines. Rust ate its body like time had forgotten it was ever alive. The windows were broken, the paint was peeling, the tires were flat, and the whole vehicle looked like a story abandoned before it could finish its ending. Amina stopped. Her heart began to beat louder. Something about it felt wrong. She moved closer slowly, because poor kids learn early that strange things can mean danger. Old cars in the woods were not normal. Old cars in the woods meant secrets, and secrets often meant trouble. But something pulled her near, like fate whispering her name through the trees, telling her this moment mattered. She touched the cold metal. Her fingers trembled. The trunk was slightly open, just enough to see darkness inside. Curiosity fought fear in her chest. She leaned forward carefully, not knowing this would change her family forever. Her hands shook on the rusted edge. Her breath became slow and shaky, as if the air itself warned her to step back right now. She told herself it was just an old car, just junk, just metal, but her heart beat like danger was breathing inside. She remembered stories of thieves hiding things, stories of police trouble, stories of poor children getting blamed for what they never did. For a moment, she almost walked away. She thought of her sick mother waiting, needing her safe more than brave. But then, a weak sound came from the trunk. Soft, broken, like someone crying without strength to be heard. Amina froze. Her fear turned into something else. The kind of fear that comes when another human might be hurting and alone. She swallowed hard, whispering, "Allah, help me," the way her mother did when life felt too heavy to carry. Using both hands, she pushed the trunk open a little more. Metal screeched loudly. The sound echoed through the silent trees like a scream. Dust flew into her face. The smell inside was old, damp, mixed with something that made her chest tighten. She covered her nose with her sleeve. Her eyes adjusted slowly to the dark. Shapes formed, and what she saw first made her mind freeze before her body could react. It was not money, not scrap, not treasure. It was a small shape, curled up inside. A child. For a second, Amina stopped breathing, because the small body inside the trunk was not moving the way it should at all. A little girl lay curled tight. Her clothes were dirty. Her lips were dry. Fear had wrapped around her long before Amina arrived. Her hair stuck to her face with sweat. Her tiny fingers twitched weakly, like she was fighting sleep she feared. Amina forgot hunger, forgot scrap, forgot everything, because someone's daughter was trapped where no child should ever be. "Hey, hey!" Amina whispered, voice breaking. "Wake up!" She was scared to touch her, but more scared to do nothing. The girl's eyes opened slowly, unfocused, full of terror first, then confusion, as if she thought Amina was another danger. "I won't hurt you," Amina said quickly, the way her mother spoke to calm her during storms and dark nights. The girl tried to speak, but only a dry sound came out, and guilt hit Amina hard, because she had almost walked away. She looked around the forest, realizing this was bigger than her, bigger than poverty, bigger than fear. Somebody left this child here, and that thought burned inside her like fire. Children were not things to throw away. Her hands shook, but she gently helped the girl sit up, feeling how light she was, like life had been taken piece by piece. At that moment, the poor girl made a decision rich people sometimes fail to make. She chose responsibility. She slid one arm behind the girl's back, the other under her knees, lifting her slowly like she was made of glass and pain. The girl winced softly, and that sound cut deeper than hunger ever had. No child should sound that tired. "I'll take you home," Amina whispered, though home was just a small room with cracks, not a place ready for miracles. The walk felt longer than ever. The girl's head rested against Amina's shoulder. Amina's thin legs shook, but she refused to stop. She kept looking behind her, scared someone bad would return. But the forest stayed silent, like it was hiding shame. Every step she took, she remembered her mother saying, "Good hearts are richer than money," words she never forgot. When their house finally appeared, tin roof dull under the sun, walls cracked with hardship, Amina's chest tightened. She worried what her sick mother would say. She pushed the door open gently. "Ammi!" Her voice was filled with fear and urgency. "I found someone." Her mother tried to sit up, weak but alert. Her eyes widened when she saw the little girl in Amina's arms. For 1 second, worry crossed her face. They had nothing. Then something stronger replaced it. Compassion. "Put her here," her mother said softly, moving her own blanket aside, choosing kindness even while shivering with fever. In that tiny poor room, 3 fragile lives sat together, and destiny quietly changed direction without asking permission. Her mother touched the girl's forehead gently, her own hands warm with sickness, yet her voice stayed calm. "This child is terrified," she whispered, reading pain the way only mothers somehow can. Amina brought water in a cracked cup, holding it to the girl's lips like it was the most precious gift alive. The girl drank slowly, eyes never leaving Amina's mother's face, searching for danger, but slowly finding safety instead. "My child, what is your name?" her mother asked. The girl's lips trembled. "Zara," she whispered. Tears rolled down her cheeks like fear finally found a way out. Amina looked away, guilt rising inside her for every time she thought her own life was the worst. Somewhere, she knew parents were missing this child. Or maybe someone had failed her in a way too cruel to imagine. Her mother coughed hard, hiding pain, but still said, "We cannot keep her secret. We must find help." Amina nodded. Fear flooded her. Fear of police. Fear of questions. Fear poverty would make them look guilty first. But then she looked at Zara holding her sleeve tightly, and fear lost to something bigger. That night they had nothing, yet they chose to carry someone else's burden like it was their own. Night came quietly, but sleep did not. Every small sound made Amina think someone was coming back. She sat near the door, a broken stick in her hand, guarding like a soldier, though her body was only skin and bones. Zara woke crying from nightmares, and Amina's mother pulled her close, whispering prayers into her hair. In that moment, Amina saw something she would never forget. Love does not check blood before it protects. But guilt slowly entered Amina's chest, heavy and sharp, because she remembered something. Weeks ago, she had seen this car before near the highway, but she ignored it. thinking rich people's problems were not hers. Now that memory burned. What if Zara had been there longer? Tears filled Amina's eyes. I should have looked, she whispered. Maybe she suffered because I was afraid. Her mother held her hand tightly. Wrong is when you don't act after knowing, she said softly. You acted today. Still, the guilt stayed, turning into a promise inside Amina. She would never walk past someone in need again. By morning, she knew one thing clearly. This was no longer just about help. It was about making things right. Morning light entered the room softly. Amina washed her face. Fear still there, but courage standing taller. Because running now would mean failing twice. Her mother nodded weakly, proud, as Amina prepared to go to the police station with Zara beside her. People stared on the road, judging their torn clothes, not knowing they were walking with a story of survival. At the station, Amina's voice shook, but she told everything. The car, the forest, the trunk. The moment she found Zara, officers first looked suspicious, eyes trained to doubt the poor. Amina felt old fear rising again. But Zara suddenly held her hand tight and said, She saved me. And the room changed in one breath. Calls were made. News spread quickly. A kidnapped child had been missing for days across the city. Then, her real parents arrived, crying, falling to their knees, hugging Zara like life had returned after being stolen. Amina stood quietly, relief washing over her like rain after drought. The rich father stepped forward, his voice shaking. You saved my daughter. He tried to offer money, but Amina looked at her mother first, learning what dignity truly meant. Her mother spoke softly. We did not save her for money. The rich mother sobbed harder. No, but please, let us save you too. And that was the twist destiny carried. Because kindness does not return empty. That same day, doctors were sent to Amina's home. Her mother's fever was treated. Medicine arrived. Food arrived. Not as charity, but as gratitude. The poor girl who saved a life had unknowingly saved her own family too. Reporters came. Cameras flashed. But Amina only said one sentence. No child should ever be left alone. No matter who they are. Those words spread fast. Not because they were perfect, but because they were true. And the world saw it clearly. The poorest heart in the room carried the greatest wealth. In saving one life, Amina changed many hearts that had forgotten what being human means. And somewhere deep inside, destiny smiled. Because sometimes miracles do not come from riches. Sometimes, they come from a hungry girl in torn slippers, who chose courage anyway. If this story inspired you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing stories.